In this tech assignment, you will construct the Eames shell chair with armrests. One thing right off the bat I want to tell you is that you need to draw a different view than what we see here. It can still be a front 3/4. You're given orthographic views that contain section lines and the overall perimeter of the shell, and you'll use those to construct the very organic shape that is the seat, backrest, and armrests. You will construct this using both sections and intersections. So the important thing to point out is that if it's a section line, it's as if it's cutting through the object. The intersections, you have one red line in that top view, that as if you're looking down on it. If there was a shadow for a spotlight shining straight down, that's what you would see. You're going to draw that on the ground plane, and then you're going to draw the intersection or the silhouette of the shell, the top surface of the shell, from a side view as well. And you'll put that, we'll put that on the center plane, center vertical plane, running front to back. If you look at the grid on the drawing, it's basically 3 units deep and 4 units wide and 4 units tall. So rather than start with a small cube unit and then build up, what you see here is starting with a large cube unit, making sure the proportions are right. And in fact, if you think about the leading edge for this, it should be somewhere between 9 and 10 inches. And then dividing that up into a grid using the techniques and tools that we have used up until this point. And so you'll ultimately have some planes. The top view contains the red lines, which is the silhouette looking down of this object, and the perimeter of the shell. And so that's what we've drawn here on the left side, and using the mirroring techniques, I'm mirroring that over to the right side. Here we're taking that silhouette image of the perimeter of the shell and putting it on that center plane running front to back. And this is just that intersection method. So each of those points, I'm basically drawing a little rectangle to plot those points out in space and then connecting them. And now you've got the shell. So now we'll work on taking those sections to define even more what the chair is doing for the viewer. I will tell you, I did make a mistake when drawing kind of where the rear end would sit there. I did it before drawing in this section line, and I realized I needed to make that edit after the fact because it should hit that section line tangent. One of the other interesting parts of this drawing is just connecting this pyramid shaped base and ensuring that the details that you draw on that base are proportionally accurate, and using construction methods to make sure that they line up with the bottom of the seat correctly, and then even these little wire elements that go between it, between each of the legs. You want to make sure that you use proper construction methods to ensure they're lined up properly. So here you're measuring out the height. Each of those cross braces are going to hit at those points and the top of the pyramid. And then the rest of this is basically just working out the details, making sure that your object lines stand out. One suggestion that we do have as you watch this is if you do have multiple colored pen, like the one that I use in many of the exercises, you might want to use it to avoid some confusion. You might have a couple of different levels of even construction lines. So be careful not to start drawing very dark in the beginning. This is just coming back later and making sure that those object lines are standing out. And even putting the section lines in just to make sure that, again, the viewer can see what the chair really looks like.